strong economy generally tends to create weak population or weak men. I want to talk about some cycles here, and I think you need to know it and you need to understand it, because there's a cycle that if you understand it, you will start being a little bit more aware of some of the decisions that you're making, right? And self-awareness, I think, is one of the key areas that you need to be aware of, because it's one of the number one characteristics of long-term success is self-awareness, right? So I want to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to go on a more macroeconomic scale. I want you to understand something. Strong economy. Just so you guys know, real facts here, from 2009 to 2020, our GDP, our economy, grew every year by 2.3%, right? Strong economy. What that economy does over a long period of time, if things are coming really easy, if everything is easy, low interest rates, right? Easier to buy a house, easier to buy a car, whatever it is. If the economy is getting better, the companies are hiring. Strong economy generally tends to create weak population or weak men, okay? When you have a bunch of weak men in charge, when you have a bunch of weak people working, that generally will start to create a weak economy. Would you guys agree? Productivity is down, drive is down, ambition is down, whatever it is you want to name it. Weak people generally don't bring too much value into the marketplace to make the economy grow as a whole. Now, weak economy tends to create strong men, right? Strong men. Do you guys know that the fastest growing group of millionaires in the US, do you know what that group is? It is immigrants that come from third world countries. It is immigrants that come from third world countries that have weak economies, and they come into a place where they say, if I can just have a little bit of a drive, a little bit more ambition, if I can be a little bit tougher, a little bit more competitive than this crowd, I'm going to become a millionaire. Yes, that's what you're saying? Yes. And sure enough, those are the guys that are becoming the fastest group of millionaires in this country. Why am I saying this? This matters in understanding the whole stronger macroeconomic scale. Let me ask you guys something. Up until the last maybe year, did we have a pretty good economy? Yeah, we did. For the most part, we had a really good economy. We had 20-year-old boys that were living in their one-bedroom apartment, making money on crypto, even though they had zero skills in the marketplace. Things were easy. Back then, if you put money into the stock market, the whole stock market was going up. You were winning, not because you were a good trader, but because the whole ship was rising. You put money into Shiba Inu, a meme coin. You are making money. Shiba Inu has zero value, right? Not that great of a crypto. But because the whole ship was rising, you were making money. Does that make sense? But that started to create weak men. Because when you start to make money and you have zero value, you're starting to create weak men. And sure enough, that's starting to bring in weaker economy. Right now, just to give you guys an idea, compared to a year and a half ago, our interest rates are almost triple. Do you guys know what that means? Meaning if you right now decided to say, hey, you know what, I want to buy a house, a couple of years ago, you're getting a 2.5, 2.75% interest rate. Very easy to buy a house with those interest rates. Now, over 7. Now you got to be an insanely tough, strong man to make it work in this kind of an economy. And I would probably say the economy that's to come. I also want to talk about this on a micro scale. I want you to understand this. When you generally tend to make decisions to have an easy tomorrow, you have to make hard decisions today, right? If you make the hard decisions today, you're setting yourself up for easier tomorrow. And if you keep on making easy decisions today, let's take a little shortcut. Let's make sure that if this is going to stretch me too thin, I don't want to do it, right? You're setting yourself up for harder tomorrow, which is why, by the way, one of the main characteristics that you want to pay attention to in your own life is, do you tend to understand the concept of delayed gratification? Like, listen, I know I can make this decision today and have a little bit of pleasure, but I can make this decision tomorrow and have a much 10x pleasure. Right? You have to understand that concept, because if you keep on making constantly decisions of what feels good today, you're constantly driven by your emotions, by your feelings. By the way, that to me, personally, that's a modern day slavery, right? You're ruled by your emotions. You keep on making decisions based on what feels good today. Eventually, you're going to get to a place where you have created a very weak economy for yourself. So understand this and be disciplined enough that on a daily basis, you know where you're trying to go and make the decisions to get there. Stop always taking the easy way out. Stop looking for creative shortcuts to get out of doing the work that's going to get you closer to your goals. Does that make sense? Who's ready? Let's bring it in. Let's go.